All right, hey there, everybody. Jared Napolitano, aka JNap, marketing advocate for the PC, here with another set of streams, I should say, for the 2022 Retro League, which was a series of 5 events where players from all across the globe could compete in a competitive but free league, get some prizes, play some old formats, and have a good time. So I've done a handful of these already. This will probably be the last one in the 2022 series. There will be a league in 2023. That'll be, hopefully all the good things of 2022, and then also some tweaks to improve the experience for the approximately 60 players who participated at least in one event during the course of the year. So these videos have gotten pretty good reception on the PC YouTube channel. They're good in that they are evergreen. It's not like the format changes the way it does in Open, where new cards or new errata happen that impact the timeliness of the stream. So hopefully, if you're watching this live, if you're watching this on a replay within a couple days, or if you're watching this 6 months, 12 months down the line, hopefully you find these enjoyable. I'm not the best player, definitely not in these older formats, but hopefully these streams provide some insights on lines of play and are just generally entertaining. But also, if you're a new returning player, hopefully you'll learn a few things on how best to approach different situations. So I had asked for replay streams from Jemp. If you're not familiar, this is play.starwarsccg.org. It is an awesome tool that the community has been using now for several years, especially since like 2017, when a lot more cards got coded, and then really around 2020, the activity and a lot of the processes just picked up, and new cards are coded in really quickly. More bugs are getting fixed, although there's still always a bug or two that pops up here because this game is so complex. But check it out. There's a tutorial on the home screen from, again, play.starwarsccg.org, in case you're not familiar with the format. And I'll try. I know we're doing this stream using replay. Not every. I'll try to click on certain cards that are highlighted to try to explain everything. I'll try to limit using acronyms, since but I apologize if I do, since I'm just been playing this game a long time, that sometimes I take for granted what everything's doing. So this is just the lobby screen. We'll jump right in. I have 3 streams. 2 of them are mine in games 5 and 6 of the league. This event, to play spoiler, I finished 4-2. And this was, again, the 5th of 5 events for the league. This was the premiere to Reflections 2. Format. Sorry. So we'll start here. This is my 5th game. This is against AdamCFC, Australian player. This format obviously very, very dominated by watch your step objective, since it's just really, really strong when it came out in January of 2020, or not 2020, I keep doing that, 2001, so 21 years ago. Just in a lot of that it did was very strong. It was, I think, in a lot of ways good against Huntdown, because Huntdown relies on the force activation from non-battlegrounds, which Watch Your Step does curtail. So this is me playing, and just some background, there are sample decks on Jemp as well, so if you're a new returning player, let me move this so it's not in the way here as well. This is a little different. Let's see here. I'll move this up here. Okay, so that should be a little better, not to block the cards. What was I saying? Oh, there's sample decks. So this is mostly Bastion Winklehouse's deck. I think I might have changed a few things just for my experiences. When it was first put into Jemp as a sample deck, Beggar would crash the server, but now Beggar is able to be played without breaking the server. So Adam's playing Huntdown. This game, I think, showcases some of the strength of Watch Your Step. I have an interesting hand here with just a lot of characters. One of the docking bays, which I could normally pull with Insurrection from the reserve deck. Adam gets a good turn 1 where he gets Vader down using deploy -2 to the Executor, and then he can docking bay transit for free. Let's see if this rotate. It should rotate with another shift click. Sometimes it stalls. But upside down, your docking bay transit from here is free. Oh, there we go. So Vader's there, immediately flips his objective. You're not losing from Visage of the Emperor now, and he's threatening a drain of 2 here at the docking bay. So I have some key cards I don't want to lose off my reserve deck early in the game, so I lose character from hand. Again, my approach here is just kind of weather the storm, eventually flip, take advantage of all the benefits that Watch Your Step does, including recurring interrupts from Lost Pile on the 7 side. I take Kessel in hand. A lot of people will say in this format, never deploy Kessel. The fact that you're giving 2 dark side icons that help dark side activate outweighs the potential Force Drain of 3. I think good players probably do that. I got a little nervous in this game. I think at one point I do put it down. Now look at this. I put in Visor Vision, which is like one of my pet cards here. So just drew a couple cards again, losing router. This time I was able to, since I didn't, I wasn't too afraid of losing off the top here. I canceled the early Force Drain for 2 that Adam did. He paid 3 for Battle Plan, which is intended to just slow him down. Gets out another Docking Bay. Presumably once I flip his Force Activation at the Meditation Chamber, we'll go from 2 to 1. His activation here will go from 3 to 1 since Vader, Emperor on table. But with Watch Your Step, the flip side limits Force Generation at non-battlegrounds to 1. So, let's give a plug here. If you're new to the Jump interface, again, there's a tutorial. There's also a operational guide, which real quick here up in the top left, Jump operational guide and FAQ. That should answer a lot of your questions if you're new. We update it time to time here and there for changes in Jump as it gets continually improved. But that it's a big post that you can use Control F and search for different things that might come up. But like foils, for example, are often asked about, like foils on Jump. How do you get them? And it explains a lot of type of stuff. So I lose R2 and 3P off top. He now has Emperor there at the Cantina, threatening 2 drains of 2. And I'm just going to go for a flip here, cut down his activation, satisfy Battle Plan, and try to stop the bleeding a little bit. Because then I can recur. This is obviously is not ideal that I'm putting Theron Net on Pulsar Skate. That's not his matching ship. I think I must have activated Myrax, or maybe I top decked her. For whatever reason, I didn't do that. So getting Luke is good, that I can flip him back and make him lose to his own objective as I lose Clash of Sabers off the top. And that's important, that now I have Clash of Sabers in my Lost Pile, so keep that in mind. I'm going to use the 7 side of my objective to recur an interrupt from Lost Pile, cancel a drain. Again, just try to buy some time here as I try to stabilize, get some Force Drains of my own threatened, satisfy Battle Plans so I don't have to pay for the Force Drains, and like I said before a couple times now, take advantage of the 7 side of my objective. But I do lose a couple cards off the top here, effective repairs. It's not a big deal to lose interrupts because they can, again, like a broken record, it's such a powerful mechanic to take cards from your Lost Pile and play them again. So he reinforces Tarkin with Vader. At the end of his turn, I know he has no force, so he can't use like Thoroughly Hell to Pay to grab this interrupt that I do like to play in a lot of my decks, just because it can act sort of like a grabber, Visor Vision. Basically, I just name an interrupt, and the number of copies of that in his use pile, he has to lose a force for each, and I can keep it in my deck if I play it used. Otherwise, if I play it lost, I lose the interrupt. So there's some times where that makes sense, but not always. So I think I whiff here. I named Force Lightning, so I was trying to get that. Didn't have perfect information. Sometimes, I know there's 1 or 2 copies of it, and that's better, but just kind of wanted to cycle a card, I guess. Would have been better to play it right here for like name Imperial Command. So I start my turn 3 here. I'm going to get a couple Force Drains through. He takes Executor from reserve deck using mobilization points, but I'm not too afraid of him deploying that since he's only activating 11, and the deploy cost on the Executor, of course, is 15. He loses the laser cannons, so that's interesting to have in a hunt down deck. Very strong weapon card that can shoot cards out of the sky, or opposing starfighters out of the sky, I should say. Immediately lost. So here's where I deploy Kessel. Again, I feel like I'm a little behind in the damage race. I'm only at 31 cards down. He's at 35. He's got a couple more cards in hand. And even though I have Battle Plan satisfied, he's basically doing 6 damage a cycle between the 2 drains and the Visage of the Emperor pings at the end of each turn. And I'm going to match Outrider with Dash, go to Kessel, threaten to drain a 3. Again, I'm not too worried about his space right now. And I'm, also kind of living a little dangerously with Melas. I don't have like a Hujix here or a barrier. I grab this, I play it, And of course I could play it from Lost Pile again if I need to, but now Visage is gone, so that helps change the math a bit for me. And then this is setting up nicely where I have Han, Chewie, Lando, and Luke draw the fire and beggar. So if he gives me an opportunity, I could basically end the game with a beatdown, because draw their fire requiring my opponent to spend a force to play interrupts means that he's going to have a hard time playing Gick to resolve all excess battle damage. As he gets Commander Marajik out here, he gets Fondor, which then makes, of course, the Executor deploy -5 from game text, and Ozzel, as we see here, if Executor deploys -5, moves Marajik over. He's still on his 7 side here. He now is able to force drain for 2/2/1 and not have to pay for it. But I think the way this works, and I was kind of disciplined here to save some more force and not draw a bunch. I'm doing the math here, and just to kind of tease what happens, I'm doing the math here. Luke deploys for 5. I have battle plan out so I can battle for free. Han and Lando are 4 apiece, so that's 13. Han would add a battle destiny with Luke, and Lando and Han both being smugglers would then add a battle destiny from the 7 side of my objective. So I could get 3 battle destiny, I could swing, and as I mentioned, I have Clash of Sabers in my Lost Pile, and this is bad with Tarkin, with Vader, and immediately after the game, Adam said, yeah, should have seen that coming. As soon as I saw Clash and Lost Pile, I should have realized that Tarkin was a big liability here. So I get the Drain of 3 in, he loses a couple key cards, and Dr. Vazin, who is new to this format, was not in the Premier to Jabba's Palace Seal deck format, which I did a couple streams on before. Very strong card, obviously. All right, so down comes Luke. Automatically flip him back, and then I'm just gonna. I don't even have to use Beggar here to try to get rid of his force that might be saved to get around Draw the Fire and play a Gick. That'll of course assumes he has Gick. So I play Clash here to make Lord Vader be unable to battle or move. Quick plug here, in case any of these cards, if you're watching this, if you're trying to learn the game a little bit more, Scomp, SCOMP.StarWarsCCG.org. Great resource. You can look up cards, you can look at exactly what they do. It has rulings, easily accessible, and also explains some combos that work with certain cards. So that's a great resource, especially if, again, you're trying to get better, you're watching these game streams, maybe going a little too fast and sometimes, but you can always pause the stream, look up a card, and that's helpful. So this is bad for him that I have these 3 characters against Tarkin here, who's very likely going to be hit between one of the 3 weapons and have his forfeit go from 6 to 0. He doesn't draw Battle Destiny on his own, and I'm going to draw 3 Battle Destiny. So he's looking at a bad predicament here. I got a card back with Draw Their Fire as a retrieval, and I'm just going to fire with Luke and hit with a 3 and a 2. So he's staring down an issue here. So we can actually kind of speed this up, because I think we're about to end at a landing. So if you're doing this, one thing that new players, not that Adam's new, he's a very good player, he just kind of had a brain fart here. Don't leave yourself vulnerable, especially against Watch Your Step, where Beggar, Draw Their Fire are very common in this deck. So I actually only draw 6/1/1 for Battle Destiny, so this could have been a lot worse. He has 17 force to peel, and he only has 34 total, so basically half of his hand and life need to go to the Lost Pile here. And he just concedes, because now I have pretty good board position with Executor up here. Like, he could move Executor over, block the strain, kind of keep chasing me around. But I think this favors me just because I have all these interrupts in my Lost Pile still that can come in handy. And I'm going to lose nothing here, and hold Ben in hand to recur my guy, who I actually may have to lose during battle. I can just recur him back. So that was the first game. All right, so second game. This was submitted to me by, I think both of them really. It's a teacher is Charles. He won event 3 of the Retro League, the Premier to Death Star 2-1, and leverandon, who's Steve, who was the main tournament director for the Retro League. I helped him with prizes and just tried to get him set up, but he did a fantastic job throughout the course of the year doing pairings, answering any issues that players might have had, or I shouldn't say issues, just scheduling stuff or questions. he did a great job. They both said this game was very, very close, very, very good, so it made a lot of sense to do as a stream. So this is probably, actually I shouldn't say probably. I like Black Sun a lot in open format, but I actually haven't really played it much in this Ref 2 format. This looks like the Dark Surgeon, the famous Dark Surgeon deck, where it's a lot of force denial, um, and but Secret Plan's mobilization points, so you can get some docking bays out, get some activation. Um, yeah, Dark Deal. This is probably gonna just be it. I'm just gonna do these three, and then maybe take a little break. But yeah, thanks for offering to send some more. I think the thing with this format too is just a lot of Black Sun versus Watch Your Step. And a quick shout out to Echo Base Trooper is his handle, Adam. He does like stats post on events, and very gracious that he did stats posts for each of the retro events where he, is able to query information from GEMP and take a look at, what decks do really well, what matchups, what were commonly played cards, all that fun stuff. That's kind of like a holistic view of how the format played out. So I think Watch Your Step went 28-15. Which actually, I thought it might even do better than that. I know one of those losses was me in this event. I think I lost to Tenny MF in like the first game, Matthew, and he played well. I didn't play very well either, but so it's beatable. But it's especially since every dark player knows that Watch Your Step's going to be played, so they can try to do some different tools to deal with it. So. But yeah, we have Prophet here versus Black Sun. Presumably, we might have like a gift in here, which is really good against Black Sun since they're running a lot of aliens, because they can't play many other characters, or many other strong characters at least, that aren't aliens. But Steve here builds a pretty nice hand with Luke, Han, Leia. It's two Hans actually. I guess he's got three Hans in his deck. And all three EPP. Interesting. All right, so to the action here. He's going to Barrier the Emperor. He does have Sense Alter Protection here. I guess he's okay, I'm not sure if that's the best use of a barrier, but he probably had his reason for it, maybe because he's probably going to transit them to somewhere. Okay. Yeah, I probably would have saved the barrier there, because, yeah, the Dark Surgeon does play this Presence of the Force. Teacher, Charles, he was a very, very good old school player. I think he's come back to the game really pretty recently. And I was really happy to have him in the Retro League. Steve actually played in the Premier Reflections 2 format at the 2021 Worlds in Washington, D.C. I played in one of the games. I think I was Watch Your Step. He was bringing before me, but that's how I met Steve in person. And that was a fun event doing, and I think we're definitely going to do, or I'm really going to push to do it, as I pause this real quick, a retro event in person attached to one of the majors, maybe even more than one, to be honest, in 2023. I think there's demand out there. I think where the majors are located, I think there's obviously pockets and lots of players. And I think there's even more players that, obviously there's pockets of open players, but there's also pockets of retro players. So just as a PSA, there's going to be a major in San Diego at the end of January. There's a major in April, which is going to be in Minnesota and Minneapolis area. Worlds is going to be in New Jersey in July or August. And the Endor Grand Prix, which is in Seattle, is going to be in October this year. So all those events are around lots of players, and looking at the player survey, looking at some of those results, it looks like there's lots of, retro players in those areas. Some are active, some are passive, but I definitely think there's a good opportunity to do another in-person retro event where you get, bring your retro decks, which are, kind of good in a way for us open players that you don't have to cut up slips and do all that process. It is bringing it's a little bit extra work, but relative to building an open deck, it's less. So looking forward to that. We're also going to do a big retro event like we have the last 2 years. We did in 2021, we did Premiere to Death Star 2. In 2022, we did Decipher cards only. So that was every Decipher card printed. That was done like April, May. And Bastian Winkelhaus and Justin Desai won those two events respectively. Desai winning the Decipher cards only. It was actually... Oh, no. I take that back. Was it Johnny that one? Johnny Chu, Steve Baroni, and Justin Desai all made the top four. I know Baroni beat Casey Annis in the semifinal. Yeah, and Johnny beat Desai in the other semifinal. So Johnny was the winner But three out of the four were teammates, so obviously there's always a little awkwardness sometimes playing your teammate. Actually, I don't think the final happened. Now that I think about it, I think Steve just conceded to Johnny, which is unfortunate from a spectator perspective. So sorry for all my babbling here, but just want people to be aware of the retro opportunities. There's going to be a retro league, as I mentioned, in 2023 as well. Usually good to do that type of stuff at the beginning of the game when stuff's just kind of unfolding in a pretty straightforward, unexpected manner. So we have Master Luke with his saber, EPP Han there. Darkseid has Guri, Vigo, Emperor Palpatine, Shizu are pretty good contingent there, threatening a drain of 1. It's not going to be pinging anymore with the flip side since Luke is out, and that flips it back. And Steve's going to toss an extra Han to the Force Drain. No battle plan out yet or battle order. AOBS is Prophet's most difficult matchup. Yeah. Prophet seems to have a lot of, throughout the years, some plus matches and a lot of minus matches. Like I think it's tough against Huntdown, always. All right, so Emperor moves to the Death Star. Such a strong character in this format. There's not as many strong light side characters that can really deal with Emperor. He's harder to get rid of. Nowadays, there's just more lightsabers around, but so light side's going to get 3 damage through here. It's going to have to pay for it with the projective telepathy. One of my favorite cards throughout the years. And he's going to push that drain at 2 through. Oh, I'm sorry, did I just say battle order isn't out? Because it definitely is out now. So he's going to pay 5 for this drain at 2 and get the ping through as well. Luke's going to move out. That's interesting. All right, so he drew in a run, Luke run. That's convenient. But leaving Han there alone is interesting. What? And he doesn't have enough force to play the uncertain to do the hand exchange. No Lost in the Wilderness to try to make any of those characters lost on Coruscant. I wonder what's the strategy here with Han kind of hanging out by himself. I mean, I know he's got another Han in hand, so it's not the end of the world if he loses him, but Black Sun's going to have a few good characters that can take out Han, as we're seeing now with Forlom, Jasper, Dengar, First Strike, Ruh-Roh. This doesn't look good for light side. Even with a run Luke. Well, run Luke run would be good. Because he can run over. You have to pay the 1 force to do it. So we had the battle. Yeah, this gives spicy battle here that we could have. All right, so Lost in the Wilderness, toss from hand. Okay, I'm sorry. I know, of course, is what he's... Although he has one I know is pretty cool. So, opponent just initiated battle. You may react by deploying Leia and or her weapon from hand or reserve deck. So, apologize for not seeing that line. But Leia's going to come out here for free, probably on top of Run Luke Run. So this was actually a pretty good bait by Steve. My apologies for doubting him, but he is not going to be able to play any more tricks. Not that he has any more. Not going to play any more interrupts because of First Strike. Oh, wow. Yeah, Gurgle, current rules advocate on the retro team. Yeah, and Andrew was a top 8 in the in the 2021 retro league. I'm just reading the chat here from Dark Deal. All right, so Forlom's going to cancel Master Luke's text, so there's not going to be any fear of either of those aliens getting bounced back to the hand. Dengar is hit with Han's blast rifle. Oh wait, did he not? What happened to? Oh, Gick. Oh, nice. Sorry, I was looking at the chat there for a minute. So yeah, so I know, I guess it's technically React. Yeah, and Gick combo cancels React. So Leia did not join the party. Is not going to add another Battle Destiny and have another shot. So that's a good thing for Teacher here. Dengar is going to fire at Han and hit him with the Destiny 6. And now he's just going to need to draw 4. Oh no, not even, because Luke doesn't have his immunity because Forlom cancels his text. So this could be pretty much all the characters dying here at the end of this battle. Anakin's lightsaber swings at Jasper, which is the name of Jerry Darcy's cat. Jerry Darcy, one of the original designers of the game, of course. Miss with the lightsaber. Dengar is going to fire at Luke. A targeted character creature for free. Maybe fire twice per battle. So the virtual Dengar also fires twice per battle. But has better, that deploy 5, forfeit 3 is pretty rough. Alright, so teacher draws a 1 for Battle Destiny. A chance there's some overflow here, right, for Dark. If another R2, I have a bad feeling about this. That's a pretty cool card in this deck, where you could prevent an opponent from drawing Battle Destiny if they're in a battle together, R2 and 3PO. Obi-Wan's Journal, 5, so he owes him 9, and Jasper's going to be, what, forfeit 5? Looks like 1 overflow, if I'm doing my math right. None of those guys have any bonuses. Light side characters are all going to be cleared, so that's going to flip back. And dark side is going to flip back to their 7 sides. It's good for teacher here. And 5, 8. Looks like teacher peeled the Boba Fett and Slave 1 first. Guess there's a chance that no Battleground systems come out in this game. So yeah, so space. Maybe he's got another Presence of the Force to put up in space and satisfy battle plan. All right, but now Steve's going to respond with Ben Kenobi, Palace Raider. Anyone knows why Palace Raider's in here? There's smugglers. This has got patrol crafts. It seems like there's probably better characters, but I could just be ignorant to the power of the Palace Raider. Especially here, like Darkseid could be conceivably playing like Boba Fett, hidden weapons. There could be a liability here with Ben getting taken out of the battle, and then the Palace Raider left to get beaten up on. But Steve's got. Was he holding back that Document 94 for a reason? I guess try to just manage the number of battlegrounds out in this game, to not allow the opponent, possibly like satisfy no escape, or satisfy 3 battlegrounds honor, if not for no escape. 4 Lom's back. IGD8's coming down to join the Emperor, and Dietrich's going to use his game text here. So that early flip with Han, obviously. There's a cost benefit there of how soon do you want to release Han. Sometimes it might be worth it just to kind of wait a little bit, just to stabilize, build your hand, have some answers. Of course, your opponent's going to be doing the same thing as well, building their hand, but after like Grimtosh Monarch come in handy, to kind of just manage your opponent from just drawing a ton and having all their answers. But it might have been better just to set up a little bit more and then utilize that retrieve. It's only 5 because it's Han's ability. If Han has power less than 4, you get 10 back. Not the case here, but Secret Plans is also out. So that would have been, another factor to kind of weigh in how soon do you want to release Han. All right, Leia joins Han at Jabba's palace. Potential risk of Fallen Portal here. Darkseid, although not anymore because Lightside doesn't have any force to pay for it for first strike. Yeah. You got a force strain at the docking bay. Why is that +1? Force strain 2. The Vigo adds probably with Shizor. Yeah, okay. It's on the 7 side and with Shizor at +1. Nice. Damage through here. I'm going to ping for 2 with the objective. Because Emperor and Shizor are on 2 different locations. Steve's losing Gift of the Mentor, Skywalker's, a couple Destiny adders there. Some pretty good cards. Steve really needs to get some cards in his hand. As Teacher draws up, he's going to replenish his hand. So Lightside has 28 down versus Darkside having around 20. But Darkside has significantly more cards in hand here. So this looks pretty good for Darkside. So he's not going to pay to drain at all. Does get the 1 ping, and a second Shizor gets lost off the top. Luke comes down, flips him back. We got a barrier, presumably to prevent, Ben, Palace Raider, Luke, all from moving to one of these 2 docking bays and to start threatening docking bay from here. From it only have force, but this card, your transit 2 here requires +8, so that would be really expensive to transit these characters to Coruscant. Alright, and Twilight Advisor gets another Presence of the Force. No Sense Alter protection for Darkseid here. I guess when you see Do or Do Not Wise Advice, you can pretty safely assume that Lightside's not playing Sense and Alter. Racing Skiff. There's some pretty good Destinies in Teacher's Reserve deck here as he goes into the control phase of his 7th turn. The Force Drain bonus is now turned off from the Vigo. Steve loses a barrier from hand. Bosk and Bus, presumably Presence of the Force. Now he satisfies Battle Plan, which is good. That could be very important late game here, that he can get damage through, even if it's only one at a time. Or actually, all the more important that he satisfies Battle Order if he just has small drains on the ground. Or anywhere, really. Alright, so Lightside's going to ping for 2 with the 7 side. Vader Monarch tossed from hand. We have Projective Telepathy to successfully cancel the Force Drain, since Steve opts not to pay 5 Force for a drain of 1. Gonna go Corrin to the AC. I'm guessing Lando's probably going to join him to get another ping going. That's going to draw 2 Battle Destiny there, assuming no one gets eliminated. Ooh, the Skiff comes out too, so Steve again just not really saving any Force, not replenishing his hand. We'll see if that backfires at all. Like this card, you can get any alien. Lots of good aliens that can, factor in Prophet or Agents in the Court or some other fun Tatooine decks back in this era and even nowadays. All right, so control set for stun. Ooh, that's big. Successfully pops Han during his activate phase. So Han's going to return to hand. Objective's going to flip. And now Lightside's not going to be able to do any damage on their turn. Sense, and then we have the Sense Alter the Uncertain is the Future function, and there goes Han. Oof, that's a big setback for Lightside. Big setback. He does have the Foam Portal, so that's kind of good for the Docking Bay and Jabba's Palace. A couple drains here so it's going to be total 3 damage during Teacher's Activate phase. Let's speed this up as we're just kind of going through. Ben Kenobi. Secret Plans is a way to verify during your control phase to look for shocking revelation. Crush the Rebellion. Nice, so now you can... I think he lost to Vader, but I Have You Now is pretty nice to help. Wow, a lot of stuff going on here. Bad Feeling Have I. That's kind of... Cool part about the 7 side of Prophet is it makes your mains immune... Or no, it cancels the game text straight out. So that's going to not really play a part quite yet, but it could be a factor, especially because a lot of the mains are on the table already. And Han, of course, is now buried somewhere in leverandon's or Steve's reserve deck. Yeah, good call there. Solid snack from chat. Yeah, if you're going to be playing 1 or 2 or 1 or 2 Presence of the Force, Crush is really helpful to back it up because Clash of Sabers can no longer cancel Presence of the Force. Or it can cancel it, but it can try to cancel it that way. But Darkseid can lose a Force to prevent that function of Clash to go through. So Steve's pretty fortunate here to find another Han. We know he had 3 total, but pretty sure that 2 are already in the lost pile. Oh no, I take that back. 1 was on the table, that one went back to hand, back to reserve. 1 was lost. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just tracking my EPP Hans here. Maybe there's 1 more floating around, but maybe not. So there's the R2 and 3PO, which we saw 2 R2. I have a bad feeling about this. Interrupts, which can be played in Watch Your Step as well. That's in the deck I used, to put it that way, for Watch Your Step. All right, so we have a revert here, graciously granted by Lightside. Moves the Vigo over there if you're... let me just rotate it. If you're general here. So yeah, the Vigo's not a general. I don't know why he did that exactly. Why did he move the Vigo to the city? Alright, well, Han's going to come back out, so that's pretty good for Lightside. They're going to flip. Suspend the game text of Bad Feeling now. He did have to pay the +2 for Bad Feeling in the process of deploying Han. There's another R2-3PO. Grabber, a gift is nice. Ooh, that could be big. So this is starting to trend back good for Lightside again. He's going to take some damage here. He just loses the gift. Huh. Wonder why. Because that would really cut down on the damage. You know, there's a way that teacher can reconfigure his characters to not get that force strain -1 that the gift does everywhere there's an alien. But, I don't know. I wouldn't have thrown that away. I wonder why he did that. All right, so force lightning to cycle the card just to reduce defense value. Light side grabs it. That's probably a good play. I'm not sure how many more annoying interrupts that dark side might be playing here. Projective telepathy could be big late game, especially since light side's probably not going to satisfy battle order. Dark side tosses Zuckuss and Mist Hunter and 2 Emperors. Yeah, I mean, if he's not going to contest the Emperor, grabbing force lightning just to take a card away, not the optimal play, but you know, I probably would have saved it for projective. I don't know how much like Voyeur was played in this Agents of Black Sun in this era, but I really like that card in Black Sun nowadays, just because you can track it around and causes pings. Alright, so Obi-Wan's lightsaber comes out. That's going to increase the drain there. Got a pretty loaded skiff here with the Palace Raider, and that's where I guess it makes sense. Where I was questioning earlier, Palace Raiders, patrol crafts, or skiffs work well when driving a transport vehicle. Moves for free and adds on battle destiny. So moves for free and presumably can move as a react. Yep. So he's got these 2 exterior sites pretty well covered, as you know, assuming that dark side doesn't cancel the react. Fallen Portal, toss from hand. No cards in hand, something I really just never like to do unless you really have to. Or lose from force. But what is Steve? I don't like this at all. So first of all, if you have no cards in your hand, your opponent, it opens up different lines of play for that turn for the opponent because they know you have no tricks. Put it that way. And then losing from force pile here, I would have just lost 2 off the top because now, you know, Darkseid doesn't have any worry about. I mean, Darkseid only has 3 force active, so can't be too potent of a turn. But at the same time, like, kind of like a rule of thumb, you always want to save a card. You just never know what can happen. But maybe the top card of his reserve deck you really didn't want to lose for some reason. But yeah, so I understand that. We're better to lose from hand than reserve when he's getting force choked here. And he's really cramming these drains. Every force is going to matter in this game, so it's going to be pretty close. But yeah, even more reason why I wouldn't have lost a gift, because that would make these drains, you know, again, Darkseid can respond by moving their characters around, but he's got these droids, they can't drain, so he can't, like, he could consolidate all his droids and Imperials to one location, or no, let me take that back. The droids don't help him force drain because they don't have any presence. So the drain where the Emperor, he can move all his aliens away from the Emperor to have his drain protected from a gift. But I think a gift would have been worth, you know, deploying R2, deploying a gift. Maybe it might have netted maybe a card or 2 in the end, just doing the math. So yeah, I guess in retrospect it can go either way. Because yeah, you got to commit 2 cards to turn on a gift, and then you're going to take away, 1 or 2 a turn, but how many turns are really left? Probably pays for itself after 1 turn, though, because it takes away both these drains. Yeah, so I take that back. It definitely would have been worth it. But then he also might have not had the force to pay for drains. So yeah, there's a trade-off. This is why this game's great. There's always these different things you got to balance. I guess with that said, if you're doing the sticker book program, we'll do a token here. Let's do Racing Skiff. So you just send that card. Send an email to Holotheater. That's HOLOTHEATRE at StarWarsCCG.org. Include in the body of the email Racing Skiff. Put in the subject like Retro Stream Premiere Reflections 2. And we'll sum all those up, and basically you can receive you will receive prizes in the mail. It's just a matter of how many, based on how many submissions you do. They're these little stickers of virtual cards and foily cards. So if you don't play open or don't care about open, probably not as attractive, but they're still pretty cool. A lot of people are trying to complete you get all these little stickers and you can kind of complete the book, and it's a cool collecting item. Very creative idea by Kevin Yap. We had 1 round of, and they're packs. It's always fun to open up packs. We have round 2 and round 3, and some people still need their round 1. So thanks to everyone for their patience on those. They take a lot of work to do and ship and get out. But once I get the next shipment, I'm probably going to turn it around pretty quickly. Especially because there's some people that have lots of packs due their way. So we have a revert here. We have some moving around. Looks like Darkseid's going to try to drain here. again, even more reason why a gift probably would have been good, because he couldn't do this. Or it wouldn't have made sense to do it with force drain getting reduced. Alright, so going to be a tight finish here. Light side gets through 3 ping damage from the 7th side of their objective. Emperor, Force Lightning, I have you now. Dark side uses Broken Concentration to move a card back. Another, if you're not familiar, Force Denial card. And we have a battle here, a first strike swing, and because of the force choke again, projective telepathy. Another reason I probably would have grabbed projective, because now that saves dark side here. They're going to get a round of damage in. No cards activated, but it doesn't mean he can still battle, because battle order enables him to battle for free. Might be worth it just to get that ping through. This is going to be really close. Yeah, because, I think he just battles. Aim high is not out. Yeah, my guess is that Darkseid wins this by like a force now, but I could be wrong. 2 projected telepathies there. So he's got a battle to not allow, or to get the first strike swing, which is pretty good for Dark. Now, of course, it's very likely that Lightside's going to battle back, but at this point in the game, it's very game of economy here. Of what all can you do? Can you pay to retrieve, pay to drain, pay to move, pay to battle? There's just a lot of things weighing on light side here. Alright, so we have Obi-Wan's lightsaber swing at Dengar. That's going to be a hit. And there's a bunch of droids, so it's actually big, because now it's probably bad that he swung at Dengar, right? Because now Darkseid can leave themselves in a position where Lightside cannot battle back in and get the first strike swing of every time you initiate battle, either opponent loses a force and you retrieve a force. But these 3 droids do not occupy, so they cannot be battled into because they don't have presence. So it might have been better to leave Dengar there, especially because Darkseid doesn't have the force to move away. Palace Raiders captured. Dengar is going to fire again at the skiff. Oh yeah, it can fire at vehicles. 3. It's going to miss, right? Maneuver 4. Oh no, why is it defense value 0? Oh, because it's not driven? That's an interesting rule. Maybe someone in the chat can help me out there. So this would come up in the live game, but I guess with no driver, it has no maneuver, and it's just like a sitting duck. Characters can jump off this, that's good. If lost, any characters aboard may jump off, so it's just taking away the forfeit, I guess. But Ben with his lightsaber and Luke, he can just revive Luke, which he's going to have to do it. Well, seems like that would be pretty optimal to do against Agents of Black Sun, so they don't flip. Alright, so Ben's going to jump off. Darkseid loses all of their presence. Loses Ben. Huh. Oh, did Forlon canceled Ben's text, I'm guessing. Sorry, I missed that. Just all the activity. So yeah, there can't be a revival. So ooh, timeout. Ooh. Oh no, what happened here? So, and I think the guys did say, they said this was a real fun, jovial game, lots of back and forth. I think they were chatting a lot as it was happening. I think teacher said that, I just actually lost track of time. But let's see here. So we're going to start light side turn. He's going to okay, so he'll just activate 3, ping for 3, and then he can afford to pay 3 to drain for 1. So yeah, so light side will win this, right? It's not like he has a projective telepathy in hand. He can't use broken concentration. This looks like light side would eke it out by 3. So that was a good game. Thanks for submitting. And then we have this game, third and final. Oh gosh, this was a wild one. So we're gonna go fast on this, and I apologize if I'm skipping over some of the minutia, but there was a lot of retrieval. This was a fun game actually. What do we at here? 46 minutes. I try to keep these around an hour at most, but so this is with Craig. I was playing as my kind of Scum. This was game 6 of the event. Game 6 of event 5, the last game of the year. And I really like this my kind of Scum deck. I played it in the previous. I think I did. Maybe I played Hunt Down in the prior. And I think I did play Hunt Down. That was the event. That was the league I won, or the event I won. Might have gone back and forth. So yeah, this is my Abyssins deck with Mayo, Galid. I like this deck versus Watch Your Step because you can protect your 4 strains for being like canceled with like It's a Hit or Control Tunnel Vision, or reduced by like Projection of Skywalker because of Hut Influence. And there it is. It's a very important card in this meta. Because wherever you have 2 aliens with different card titles, the opponent may not cancel or modify your 4 strains at each Tatooine Battleground site. So my kind of Scum's got lots of fun functions of once you flip, you can cancel once per turn a Battle Destiny from your opponent, or a 4 strain with putting your copy of your rep there. Works nicely with Mayo because he regenerates when he's lost, so the idea is that you can kind of keep cycling your reps ideally. This one, the tricky part is you want to you want to have Mayo at the audience chamber to get the bonus for your Abyssins, because the Abyssins are power +2 and 4/+1 to Mayo at the audience chamber. But it's also often that the deck fortifies the audience chamber so Lightside doesn't contest it. Some of the time, I don't know, most of the time. So you can't really just like throw Mayo at random locations and have him die and recirculate. So this game has a lot of retrieval. As we see, Hidden Base from Craig here. He's got the anti-Sense Alter combo effect. Chasm, which is good, I'm guessing, against Black Sun. Probably against Huntdown. Squadron assignments. And here we see, as I deploy some sites, get my activation. The other reason this is a good deck is because with the Watch Your Step curbing of activation doesn't really work here, because all of the dark locations are either battlegrounds or like 1-0s. Power of the Hut allows me to get Bib, Boelo, Infant Mon, Sail Barge, Space Cruiser, which I have in my hand, which doesn't have a permanent pilot. The virtual Jabba Space Cruiser nowadays is a pretty cool card. The first game streamed, Uncle Curveball Charlie was or Charles. It was me versus, I already forget. It was my game 5. Totally drawing a blank. Sorry, my brain doesn't work. This is what happens when I have young kids that wake up early. I'll think of it in a minute. But I was light. I played as I was Stonepile. I'll think of it in a minute. Sorry. Maybe I have my where's my little notepad? Sorry, I should know this off the top of my head. Oh, it was me as Watch Your Step versus AdamCFC as Huntdown, and I got a big beatdown in and won. All right, so Stonepile takes 2 of my cards that I think one of them was a key card, but now, of course, because I was trying to think there. So Dagobah's out, Stonepile, of course, 2-dot Stonepile. Jodo cast here. I got my grabber, Den of Thieves, which I don't need to put out quite yet. Not that I have any real concern that's going to get canceled. If he's playing the anti-sense alter stuff, I don't think I have to worry about it being altered. He loses Out of Commission, Honor the Jedi. Another reason why I like this deck is because it can be on 3 battlegrounds pretty easily. It's not like Huntdown, which is a mains deck that wants to be more of on maybe like 2 battlegrounds. So I'm just going to get my aliens out, set up on Jabba's Palace sites. No Bargain is helpful to make all rebels be deployed +2. Boost the forfeit of my non-uniques by 1. The key with this deck is just making sure that I don't put Mara Jade, because she's an Imperial. She turns off No Bargain. And I don't have an ideal kind of setup here with different characters at different locations, but I just want to have like a couple characters on each. So I move some characters around here. I have to stay on at least 2 battleground sites to stay on my 7 side and reap the benefits of that. I just draw here. I didn't kind of see what was coming for a little bit on how he sets up the deck, but once I realized pretty quickly that he's going to be doing a diplomatic mission to Alderaan. Another reason why my kind of Scum is nice is because Hidden Base can't cancel my 4 strains either because of Hut Influence, and that's what Craig said at the end of the game, was like, my card's really good. It's like, yeah, it's probably like the number 1 reason why I'm playing the my kind of Scum, because it just works well against what is commonly played in this meta. A lot of cards that want to mess with your 4 strains. All right, so he's going to deploy Liberty with Akbar, Luke on R2 and Red 5, which Luke deploys for free because he's ability less than 5. It actually prompts me to cancel my own 4 string, which of course I don't ever want to do, but home 1 gets top decked, as does Hujix. No battle plan or battle order out here. I'm getting the activation bonus every time I 4 string with an alien because of Jabba the Hutt. This is Talon card, Captain Han Solo. Den of Thieves goes out. I'll plan to use that. I can either use that or use the 7 side with Mayo to cancel the drain. It kicks a lot of characters in my reserve there as I look for a site. I'd probably prefer to use the Den of Thieves before using my objective because the objective can do a couple different things. And I'm just going to put out more characters here with a ton of force that I've activated. We're both activating a ton of force, a ton of locations out. And I'm just going to reconfigure my characters here so I can be on 3 locations and push the drain damage up. Galen, of course, pretty crucial. I have 2 copies of him in here. Adds 1 to force drains at Jabba's Palace sites. Oh, did I say Diplo? Sorry, that's the image. Diplomatic Mission Alderaan is a virtual card that uses the underlying image of Our Most Desperate Hour. Apologize for that. Our Most Desperate Hour is what kind of the core of this deck is from Craig. So if you're watching this and you're like, what's he talking about? Thank you for the correction there in the chat. This is why viewers in the chat are exceptionally helpful because I'm inevitably going to say some things that aren't true. Because again, this game is so complex that it's easy to forget certain things. All right, so I just pay to draw a bunch. Jabba's Twerp's another form of retrieval. My deck just has a ton of retrieval. I get a non-unique alien back each control phase, and that's where I just lose 1 from hands because I know I can retrieve. I can retrieve with Abyss and Ornament at some point. I can retrieve with Scum if I'm battling, although I haven't found Scum yet, but now I have at least a Twilight Advisor to find it. So he's going to load up. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, why is he deploying all these characters here? This seems like a lot. And there's Our Most Desperate Hour. Neither of us in this game, I think, get Secret Plans or Aim High out. In retrospect, I really, really, really needed Secret Plans in this deck. The game would have been over a lot quicker. Now I get Scum from my reserve deck. And he's going to retrieve 8 force. And he's going to retrieve a lot more. So all the damage I've done for the game now is gone away. I'll speed up here. So yeah, there's a lot of back and forth. A lot of us, or both of us, retrieve a lot of cards. So yeah, pretty natural. And just draining, activating with Jabba, declining to cancel my own drains with my objective, even though it lights up. He loses an excess system here. I don't really have the amount of space that I need. I definitely need a Gick, which actually I don't think I have a Gick in here. To start probing systems because I don't want to walk into a beatdown with a lot of space. Usually hidden base decks have that capability. Let me slow down a little bit. So I grab the signal, don't want him to keep cycling that. I think I had the opportunity to do that before and I declined, but I should have done it. I have 3 grabbers in here. I feel like Joker King, who's a player who even nowadays will play this card, which isn't quite as common since there's other objectively better grabber cards. Now he stonepiles me again. And I think he got Boba Fett there. And of course, I already forgot the other card. I think it was a pilot. Yeah, because I have no pilots in my hand. The Space Cruiser needs a pilot to work. Yoda comes out, which means he can subtract from attrition. He also helps with Our Most Desperate Hour to up the retrieval there. And I see that he's going to keep playing to move back and forth with Luke. He's got a force saved here. So I'm a little afraid of battling in. I need to make sure I draw a 5 to get rid of Luke. So I think I declined to really attack him here just because the downside's a lot bigger than the upside of possibly getting rid of Luke. Yeah, force-attuned characters and force-sensitive characters. All right, so Craig's going to lose a couple cards here from reserve. Red Squadron 1, Honor, Home 1, again, the Signal. All right, so I do go down Zuckuss, so I guess I'm misremembering. And I think I just... Oh, yeah, because Forlum's going to add a Destiny. So I'm like, all right, I can draw 2 Battle Destiny here. Happy that he didn't barrier me. I don't even think I put the Abyssin on here for, I think, forfeit... he's only forfeit 3, but he's some fodder. No, actually, it's only forfeit 2, right? Because the non-unique bonus is only at Jabba's Palace sites. I don't have Mayo at the Audience Chamber. I've got these 2 miles in my hand, the whole game. I get some Scum retrieval. I guess it's just the 1. I think I would say I checked my cards in my reserve to just know that I was able to cut through Luke's immunity here. But if he had organized attack, that would have been problematic. Scum gets reduced. My total battle destiny is 6, which at least I cracked the immunity, but I don't. Oh no, I don't. Oh wow. All right, so he had to peel 2. So that went pretty bad for me. A couple things I wasn't anticipating. I guess the chasm. Might have played a little more conservatively if I, in the moment, connected the fact that Scum was going to be a problem because of Chasm. Yeah, so now I have Bib. That's another cool part about the 7 side is that when Bib and Jabba are both on table, all your Battle Destiny draws are +2. And Abyssin Ornament, or no, Wounded Wookiee is Destiny +3. So I had that combo card, which I think is naturally a 2. So it becomes a 5. This is a wasted card. I think what he did, I think he first put it on the table, then reverted. And I feel bad now. I probably should have said, hey, you sure you want to do that? Because it's kind of a dead card when I have a Hut Influence. But at the same time, like, it's theoretical. Oh no. I was going to say maybe his plan was to get rid of my second alien, but now that's probably not a path. Alright, so down comes EPP Obi. And he has no cards in his reserve, so I'm not too worried about him battling here. Jabba's Twerps, I could use in a pinch if he were to attack the Audience Chamber. Since the opponent just initiated battle with your alien leader present to play up to 3 non-uniques. With Scum, all these Abyssins are pretty cheap. They're only a force each. It's good to try to combo them with like a Chow Beacon. But now he gets back 14 force. So this is like, what's the Greek myth, Sisyphus, where he's pushing the rock up the hill. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, he's going to get a lot of force back, including he gets these our most desperate hours. He can effective repairs to retrieve it. This is a mechanic that's shielded nowadays because it's I think even Craig will admit, kind of an abusive thing that you can keep recurring these Utini effects, which can lead to a lot of retrieval, very long games. Obviously nowadays shields are like secret plans name high, so they would curtail such a deck like this to make it more costly, difficult to balance doing your game plan and paying for all this retrieval and potentially paying for 4 strains. But he just has some ground cards here. And obviously Battle Plan and Battle Order are not out. All right, Luke off the top, Traffic Control, Han's Toolkit, Millennium Falcon. Yeah, Code Clearances. Was that what I meant to say? Something special planned for them is a card in this format. That would be a way to stop, like, at least I'm pretty sure. I don't know if, I might give you an opportunity here. Let's check it real quick. Let me just pause. Scum. Something special. So this is Scum, which I plugged earlier. So this is a non-B card from Death Star 2. An opponent just retrieves a card using Interrupt or Utini effect card. That card's placed out of play. So that would stop him from continuously looping the Our Most Desperate Hour. It would stop like On the Edge. It would stop Kessel Run. All those things that can really get onerous to fight through. So he moved away here. I don't know why. I guess he's just figured I'll threaten a drain here of 1. Doesn't really need to worry about Battle Plan yet, or at all. Potentially, I'm just drawing cards. I could keep using, different ways to cancel his 4 strain here at Kifex. How he reverted. I'm not sure what happened there. Oh, maybe miscounted and just wanted to, which is fine. Changing the amount you activate is a very generally accepted revert. So I allow his drain to go through. I'm not too worried about losing cards still. I have lots of retrieval of my own, including Jabba's Twerps, alright, so I none shall pass Luke. Take that back. Did not none shall pass. The option came up, and it wasn't Luke, it was Han. So I probed Tatooine, even though I didn't do it before because I really was skeptical that Tatooine was actually his hidden base. I thought it was probably one of these ones in the middle. I don't think I ever actually probe. I none shall pass Leia, so Han's kind of stuck now on his own. And I think he runs away. So yes, this is turn 7. I none shall pass Leia. And he's going to run to the dungeon, which is pretty tempting. Now that I have IG88, the dungeon, which, this is what I do to spoil it. Whenever a bounty hunter delivers a captive here, retrieve 2/4. So I think I track something, or I'm pretty confident. One way or the other, I'm very confident that I can take Han into custody, throw him in the dungeon, get a couple force back. As I just keep pushing through these drains of 2, which very well may just be all retrieved. I think he did 8 the first time with Our Most Desperate Hour, 14 the second, and I think he does a 16. And I think that's it. I don't think we got to the 16 yet, right? Alright, so he cancels my drains as he can, or he cancels the system drains, I should say. He can't cancel my ground drains because of Hut Influence. IG88 comes down. I'm going to get Scum Retrieval here for initiating battle. And then I'm going to capture him, throw him in the dungeon, and get 2 more force. So my loss pile is going to be completely eliminated here. This my kind of Scum. When it works well, it's really fun. It's got lots of tricks. So I toss him in the dungeon, get some force back, including my second copy of Scum. Another None Shall Pass. Take Han back into custody just to make sure there's zero way that he can free him, because he can't battle IGV8 because he doesn't have presence. Draw another Mayo. This whole game I was very disciplined in not using my Mayos to cancel drains, or I did it very, very limited, because I'd rather save it until I really needed it, or until he had multiple drains of 2, which I don't think he ever really does. I'm happy to kind of lose to a drain of 1, knowing that I'm probably going to retrieve it either by Scum or by my objective if it is an Abyssin, or by Jabba's Torps at some point. So he brings Liberty over to Tatooine, so my Zuckuss is just chilling here. Get more drains. He has very few cards face down. Speed up again here. Again, just want to plug, I mentioned at the beginning, but yeah, there will be a 2023 Retro League. It's going to be led by Steve Sanders, probably with the help of Andy Talaga, who volunteered to help with this type of stuff. He had a really good experience. Andy finished second in the league this year behind Paul Feldman. Dr. Torch, who was very good across, he was, obviously did very good across the 5 events. He won, I think, the very first event, the Premiere to A New Hope. Paul is one of the most OG, original players of this game. Like, he made 4 of the first, I think, 6 worlds, maybe, or 4 of the first 5 worlds. The top, the final cut, which was like day 3, or I think it was the top 12 those years. And yeah, here's the 16 force retrieval from Craig. And where I thought he only had 8 cards face down, now he's back up a ton. So yeah, more of the same. Drains. Yeah, 16 force retrieve there. Luke's. All right, I get Abyssin back with my objective. Can't really battle anywhere. I don't have any pilots. Oh, this is where I guess I made the decision at the end of my turn. When did I do that? Did I do that last turn? Yeah, I moved Zuckuss to Dagobah. I wanted to get my 4 cards back from these stone piles, and they're not going to get me without a fight, to take a quote. So I was on a mission to cancel these stone piles. So I land Zuckuss. Stone pile is canceled if I occupy the site. Or cards returned if effect leaves table. Effect canceled if opponent occupies. So this was a pretty cool thing that I basically just get 4 cards back for moving there. And it's going to be a process because you can't shuttle on Dagobah because Dagobah has unique rules. But in this case, Yoda's game text works against him a little bit because he can't battle me. Not that I'm sitting here planning to do a force drain, but my guys are safe here. I guess I disembarked them just for the hell of it. But this where we found a bug here where I couldn't embark them, and I think someone else had a similar issue on maybe Octo or maybe also on Dagobah, it was under the shield. That's what it was, under the Hoth shield. They couldn't embark. So I think that bug has been worked out since this game happened, but I couldn't get them back on and take off. But it wasn't, game swinging issue. So Leia's at the desert here. I'm gonna be able to draw Battle Destiny Battle at the desert if I want to. Yeah, actually he battles. Goes to shoot Jodo. He's got a 5 and 6 in there. Not sure if he did an account. I mean, at this point, we're all kind of just exhausting different options, but I don't know if he did an account for me having all these Mayos. And the funny story about the Mayos is I built this deck, or something similar to this actually it's the same format for Premiere Reflections too, for the 2021 retro event, which was the Friday of Worlds. And in doing so, I realized I only had 2 Mayo in my playing collection, so I had to dig into. No, I think I only had 1 Mayo in my playing collections because I had to dig the black border Mayo out of my collector's collection, dig my white border Mayo out of my collector's collection, and believe it or not, I actually had to dig I sleeved it up, my Japanese Mayo out of my collector's collection, which I really, really didn't like doing, but I just didn't want to borrow cards and worry about forgetting to give it back to somebody. So the Japanese Mayo got a little play at the throwback event. More recently, I've come into more Mayos, so and in the case of another retro event, in this format or the one before, Jabba's Palaceal deck, I'd be good to go. All right, so Erica's +2 because of my 7 side. I cancel his Battle Destiny with a Mayo, and the Abyssin's going to survive and be able to get through a drain of 1 there on my turn, which he could cancel with Hidden Base. Yeah, actually, I think he will cancel it. And he's going to shuttle down some guys here. Yeah, so bring in the Liberty Squad down to Jabba's Palace. He obviously doesn't know that I have Shizor, Boba Fett. I can deploy Mayos here to tussle with all of his characters here. And I think we have a battle at Jabba's Palace. Hidden weapons, if I didn't mention that, that'll come in handy if I pair Fett up. But I think I only have so much force to work with, so... this whole game I was kind of afraid of him grabbing my Abyssin ornaments and then not being able to use that for retrieval, so I was very cautious in when and how to use it to upload a Abyssin from my reserve deck. Get a few more drains through. At this point, I think he's just having trouble kind of weighing all the different things of getting the Our Most Desperate Hour set up again, moving characters around, blocking drains. But the fact that there's no secret plans and no aim high out, it was pretty wild. And no battle order, which, a lot of games even in this era that would not be the case, but nowadays it would absolutely be the case that those 4 shields or I guess it would usually be 3 of the 4 shields. Usually both players should not both pull battle plan. All right, so Jodocast plays. IG-88 is going to miss, or Jodocast retrieves, sorry. My IG-88 misses, even though I fired at Akbar. Draw Battle Destiny. I didn't deploy... why did I not do Hidden Weapons? I guess I was maybe thinking of more so, let me just try to get rid of these guys. Yes, I deploy Fett. Retrieve, fire with IG. Oh, I think I just was trying to conserve... I only had so many cards in my reserve deck. So if I played Hidden Weapons, I wouldn't have been able to draw a second Battle Destiny. And if I hit instead of captured, that would have been bad. It would have been better to have the Destiny, because Akbar's forfeit 7. Alright, so I take care of 2 of his 4 characters. 3 cards in my lost pile. I'm going to move Zuckuss back up, take off. This is where I guess I realized that the guy's going to embark for an unknown reason. He's going to get a couple drains, well, 1 drain through. Yeah, I have no way to cancel his drains anymore. No Den of Thieves and no objective since 4 of my Mayo. Mayo has still not hit the table once. He's going to battle here, draw 6. Right. So I'll have to lose both these guys, and I didn't save 2 force to regenerate them. So I'll lose them both, but I'm just going to come down, I think, with Shizor on my turn and get rid of Mr. Boshek. Good for him. The cool text here, this Wounded Wookiee, it would make sense if I battle on my turn, because I'd get the first top level action. If you're a non-unique alien in battle, cancel the game text of a rebel. So if I did that, cancel Obi-Wan's text, he could not swing his lightsaber. That would cancel his game text, but draws a 6. He hits Ponda Baba. What's my trick here? I guess I just lose my characters. The Abyssin's gonna... Here, let's see. Draw my 5. So Obi's gonna die. So the whole site clears. Which it probably... I don't know if that hurts him more than me. Not necessarily. It's just kind of a... Just a neutral. Probably helps him because now I'm not draining for 2 there. And he's gonna run away into the desert with his characters. Alright, so he's at 9 down. I have 12. So I'm up a little bit, right? Just slightly. And I'm getting a damage cycle in here and getting a retrieval cycle in. Oh, okay, I know what I do here, yeah. So now I finally start putting the Mayos to work. And I can pair him with Shizor, although Shizor draws Battle Destiny on his own, but Mayo can soak up some attrition since and I got a retrieval here. So I get 5 back here because Mayo is a leader because of my objective, because he's my rep. Prince Shizor is a leader. And then, of course, Jabba, Bib, and Ifantmon, right? Yeah, so I retrieve 5. I don't have to pay for it because, again, no aim high is on the table. Get back some more Abyssins that I can cycle around. Again, one of the nice synergies of this deck, the Abyssins, they either get regenerated or they get retrieved with my objective, or they get retrieved with Scum. They come into play with Den of Thieves. So it works really well. I like this. I really like this deck for this format. All right, I draw 7, which I knew was there because I cycled it at the end of my turn. He draws a 3, so I'm just going to toss my Dissatisfy to my use pile. He goes for free, whereas the non-uniques I have to pay 2 to regenerate them, and then he concedes here. So presumably he probably doesn't have another Almost Desperate Hour, because if he did, he could get that retrieval going again. Although he is starting to lose some characters, so he has to lose 2 of these characters. So even if he did an Almost Desperate Hour, he'd only have like 1 ability 4 or 2 ability 4 with Luke and 1 Jedi Master. So that's losing some steam here, and then I can move Zuckuss. Maybe I go and probe and successfully cancel or place out of play the objective, and that would help me get some more drains through in space. I'm not 21 cards face down here with the Jabba's Twerps. And that was a fun game. In the moment, we were just kind of going back and forth with lots of retrieval. So, so that's our 3 games. Again, thanks to everyone who participated in the Retro League this year. This is November 11th. People should either have received their prizes already or are going to be getting them any day now. If you're in Europe, it might be a little longer just because we kind of use like a hub model where I send it to a couple central people and they distribute it, ideally in person at like different events, or they mail it out, but it might just take a little longer just in a way to try to conserve cost. As the PC being a charitable org, we're not swimming in cash, and postage is not cheap. So please be patient if you're an international player who played in the league and you're anxiously awaiting your prizes, which were announced. We did lots of rares and some poker chips and some other items, some other fun items during the course of the year. Thanks everyone for participating in the chat. Signing off now, but keep an eye out on the forums, on the PC Twitter account, if Twitter's still around, at SWCCG. You can also check the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Star Wars CCG. James, our social media lead, does a great job of broadcasting what's going on. So if you're just coming across this in like January and you're like, oh wow, I like retro formats of Star Wars CCG, I like to play in the league, you should find it there. All right, thanks to everyone for watching, and take care. Bye.